Hello. Think it's time I do something different. This is a review of something frightening. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw something different. But yeah, it's been a month or so. Or whatever, since I did it. But I'm doing just a different review, as you probably know by the title and everything. And I don't even know if that's a good. I don't even think of an intro for this. So I'm trying to. I did mentioned in my other video, in One Piece review, something that I want to do something other reviews as well in anime. I haven't. Nobody said anything to me, but I just in comments about it. But I thought I really wanted to review this one because this is. I mean, you can tell by the title, but I'm gonna go into it. So it might be long as well. So whatever. So this is. This is a review of the new Higurashi anime. You saw Higurashi when they cry new or go. I've seen people say it. And get this out of the way, I've never really watched the original seasons of it. I know about them, and I've seen stuff about them. And after watching this series, originally I saw videos and whatnot, and like the people dissecting it or mentioning the old one and talking about the old one. So I do have some knowledge of it, but not entirely. But this is mostly based, and I have seen videos of the old one, and of course, and stuff when I was younger. It was one of the anime that I was always scared to watch and whatnot. And I told myself I probably would never watch it, but then I saw this one. I'm like, you know what? I'll give this. This is a new series, and I thought this was a remake, but it's kind of a sequel. But overall, I think it did a really good job, actually, of tying both of them into together, the original series and this series. It's keeping it pretty fresh. I mean, there's a little confusion, but I'm not as confused now when I originally watched this series. I didn't see the others. I just know there's it's a horror. There's a lot of brutal deaths and trauma stuff. So I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. I was like, what, 12 or 13 when I first saw it, so it's pretty horrifying. I saw some crazy ass murder, stabbing, and everywhere, and these kids. Yeah, I was scared. I didn't want to watch this, but now I have. I'm a lot older now. I'm like, so, and then this new series was like I'm like, I'll watch it. It's kind of be a remake. It'll be cool. But it turns out it was it. And then I clearly, while watching later on, I clearly found out that it wasn't a remake. It was a sequel, but it tied them in together very nicely. And I gotta tell you, this was really good. Really, really good. Very graphic and very crazy. Like, it's kind of fucked, but in a good way. Like, this is deep, really deep. I'm gonna go by arcs. Shit, I forgot the name of the arcs. I should have remembered. I forgot the name of the arcs. I have pictures for each arc I go over, and you help me with the names. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I think that first one was Onidashi. I don't know. I should have looked it up. I apologize. I remember a couple of the arc names. I think the next second arc is Neko Damacier, or that's the third arc. Oh, I think that third arc is Neko Damacier, or something. Hin. There's a Wato Damashihin, Sato. I don't know. I don't remember. I apologize about that. If that offends anybody, I don't remember the arcs. I should have, but I didn't. I should have got this out earlier because I finished this on Tuesday of this week, and I'm just not getting it out. So it's probably gonna go out Saturday as well. I'm recording at midnight, so probably, yeah. So probably Saturday. So it's fine. There's other. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So again, I'm gonna go with my initial reaction and what I thought of each arc and my initial views, and what I'm not gonna really mention the original. I mean, I might not. I don't know because I didn't really watch it. I only know knowledge from videos that I watched on YouTube because this is not a sequel. If anyone wants me to watch the originals and really want to see a review of the original series, I'll go watch those. It's like those two of those seasons are like, I have high dive, so I can watch it. But just let me know in the comments if you want to see me want to see a review of the original series, even though I've already seen this one. So just let me know. I don't know. I will, because this is a I won't. This series is good. I mean, it really is. It's really deep. It's great mystery. Okay, so I'm sorry for rambling so much. I just want to get a lot discussed and mentioned. So the first arc, it's. I mean, I wasn't what I was coming into this anime. I already knew it was gonna be horror and there's gonna be death and then kids and whatnot and these characters. So they're this guy Keiichi moved into this town. He's from the city. I'm like, okay, he was probably like 15. I don't really know his age. I'm assuming because he looks older than everyone else except for Mion. So she's older and whatnot. I'm also so she looked older than him, so a little bit taller. So I'm like, she's probably a year older. And they're all in school. This town of Himinozawa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, the town's called Himinozawa, and it's a small town and it's a country place in Japan. So then he goes to this school where everyone's of all ages, and he has this group people he meets. He already knew Rena because apparently I guess they were she used to live wherever he was at, so they were already kind of friends there. But she wanted to move back to Himizawa because I guess that's the place where she was originally from. So he already knew her, and then now we meet Himion, which is the taller, green-haired chick, and then she's the oldest one. And there's Sataka, she's like a little blonde girl, probably like 11. And then we have Rika, who's the blue-haired girl or whatnot. What been in the show? So I'll probably real quick. I will have like pictures of stuff during the arc as well, during moments and whatnot. So I'll have that, and then pictures of the when I start arc. So that's how I'm gonna in the editing. I'm gonna do something like that. So I wanna try to get better at improvising on stuff and how I do it. Okay, but I'll get back to it. Yeah, so it was like, okay, meet their group and they make a club and they have like these little games or whatnot. So I'm like, okay, that it's like it looks cool, looks nice, and then whatnot. And then like Satoko, not Satoko, fuck, Reina wanted some kind of statue in this pile of trash. So Casey goes and helps her, gets it out. I'm like, okay, so but it's pretty far into it. Some dude, they made a reference to KFC, I think, or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I saw from the original as well. That's what they made a reference to. I'm like, okay, it's a statue of that dude, Colonel Dude, or similarity to him. So they wanted to help her with that. So I'm like, okay, it's just simple. But there's a couple moments where she kind of snaps at him when they're talking. I'm like, this is creepy. Like she always gets real deep, and then when she doesn't like what he said to her, I'm like, okay, that's see something's gonna happen. And then when they finally dig through, they find it, and he's like, "I really doesn't need something like a sharp to cut through all this wood or something to get it out." She has this machete she brings, and she just kind of has this look. And I'm like, are we gonna have something crapping now? No, I wasn't. So I was like, okay, so maybe this is where it's getting kind of creepy and whatnot. And then, so then we learned about that there's a curse and this Lord Alashiro dude or whatever they worship. And then from this detective guy, what was his name? Oyushi? I don't know. I don't. I should remember his name. There's a lot of characters that I do really remember, and characters I don't really remember that well because they play different roles they played on my interpretation. But I mostly like the main group because they're that's what I mostly want to care about the most, focus on. But the detective guy goes and talks to Keiichi. They get kind of because he really Keiichi notices something, so then they kind of talk, and he tells him this curse and whatnot that happens at each time at the festival. And he's like, okay, but he didn't really think too much of on that, I'm assuming, because stuff still happens. So they end up saving that thing. Okay, but and then come to find out, how I also could tell that this could be a sequel is because when he was chopping out that wood with that machete, he got a flashback of when he killed her. Like, is he gonna do that? I don't know. Cause I didn't watch the original, so I don't know. So they have the festival, and then later, and then Rika does her little dance, and then she has that giant staff pole thing she uses, and they bring the cotton away, and so I think that was the same night or the next night. I think it was the next night. Yeah, I think it was the next night. Well, they Raina comes over, or first, or I think, or Keiichi's parent mom, because he was let her leaving. We'll be back for another day, but Raina's gonna come over and eat together. So I'm like, okay, that seems fine. And then so he gets this crazy. He remembers that, oh, she told him that Raina's family is connected to the curse and something, and she might go psycho or something. He's like, oh shit, do I gotta be watch out for her? I'm like, okay, that's not a good thing if that's gonna happen. That's something that's gonna might happen. I don't know. So she comes over. I'm like, okay. This will be fine. You know, it's just gonna eat. No, it's he was freaked out for one thing, which I don't blame him after everything he heard. I was like a little bit like kind of. She was really shaking the door. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm already feeling like this shit's gonna something's gonna go down. There's no way. I already knew this is a horror shit, and I know that something's gonna happen. So finally lets her in, and then she looks on okay. You're like, okay, maybe it's fine now. She opens up the her boxes and she sits to the kitchen and all these weapons. I'm like, oh, like, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's stuff everywhere. Like some kind of chain hacksaws and like these needles and like chains and I don't know some kind of torture shit, murder shit. So he comes in there like what the hell, but she goes all psycho on him and tells him that she got to sacrifice him for her dad or something, protect him or like that. And Lord or Ashiro, whatever, told her to. That's what she has to do. So she, yeah, okay. So then she pulls out that machete, comes out, and she grabs that golf club and tries to defend himself from this crazy bitch, and she charges at him and fucking stabs the shit out of him with that. I'm like, holy shit, this is freaky. This is okay. This is what I originally was thought that's gonna happen. So I was like, damn, that's fucking brutal. Okay. And then he grabs this clock and bashed her head in, and somehow was able to kill her. And then he wakes up in the hospital and survives. I don't know how, and it doesn't explain it either that he survived. And apparently Sataka and Rika are dead too. Apparently they were already killed before he came over here. What? Or after? I don't know. Like that's pretty insane. I mean, I've seen theories that maybe he did it because he got back up, but I'm like, are you listening to that? But I'm like, I don't know, man. That's crazy. And then he crashes his neck and it freaks out. So I'm like, did he hallucinate that? Because I know he knocked her over to the table and she bashed her head. She got back up. I don't know. That was wild. I didn't know what to expect. So that was the first arc. It's kind of crazy. It's insane. There's two other characters that they met too, but like the Takano and then I forget the other dude. I don't even know if I throw a picture of him on here, but she was always with her, and he had ties to the military or something later on and whatnot. So, but he wasn't really important to me. But they went missing that arc too, so it's whatever. Takano becomes more interesting later when we see her more about her and more in the later arc. So I'll mention that later. So that's the first arc. That was kind of, I was like, that's a little insane, but I was intrigued with it, especially from episode 2 because I didn't bring that up. But episode 2, we see Reika and I forget her name, the little horn girl. She was apparently she was more important in the second season. So, and in this one, she kind of appeared and she told Rika about, what she needed to do or something. She kind of gave her guidance and then gave her more power later on. So, but it's I don't know. Ayumi, I don't remember her name. I apologize. So like I said, if you want me to, if I should watch the originals, let me know and I'll do another review because I haven't seen those. I rarely have it. I only know so much from what I watch in the videos. But yeah, that also. But seeing that, I think maybe I'm like, this is kind of like got me really that seeing that episode got me really intrigued about this and really like. I know in the originals they don't really mention the mystery. It's just kind of shit just kind of happens and then we move on. And then this one I think that's why this one I think was kind of I felt better. Is I felt like this was a remake just structured way better, but it really was a sequel. I didn't really know that at first, I guess, until after the fact, or I was already deep into the series, into this one. But that was, I think I don't know if I would have wanted to watch it more if I didn't see that, because the fact that if it just kind of had that, I'd have been like, and then like okay, and I see him come back, I'm like, I'd be so like, what the, I like what the fuck. Why? I even was like that too, because I didn't even know what to expect. Like, he came back and everything was reset. I'm like, okay. And then apparently, I guess, I don't know, Hubble 2. Yeah, she's barely done this 100 times or something. Like, what? I know we see her in the mountain at the end of the first arc, or part of the first arc, but when Rena has that machete, kind of crazy when they're just cutting down that thing. I don't know. That was wild. So the second, is so much I can talk about. This series is great. So arc 2 focuses on Mion, and now we know of her twin sister Shion, which is kind of strange. That and the way they mention it as well is really weird because Mion was trying to be disguised because she was working at this restaurant. She's all kind of dressed kind of provocatively a little bit. That's just what the owner wanted. But she told him that she kind of lied to him and said, "Oh, I'm actually Shion, because I'm not me. I'm like Mion's sister in disguise." Or she kind of just trying to hide it. But I'm like, okay, whatever. But she's actually not a real person. The what? I don't know. So I just like went with it. But she actually really was a legit character. So it made all that like kind of silly to me. Because how they mentioned it, bring it up, it's just like she was just like lying to him, but she really was a real character. Actually had a twin sister, so go figure, right? So then Shion working here, and then Mion's kind of, just other there. I don't know, they dress completely different. We can obviously tell they're different people. They have similar voices, but they're vastly different. Even though this one, they're vastly different. So it's that, and then so it's okay. It's kind of normal, but you kind of find more about our families, like rich and whatnot, and then we start to, at the end of the first episode is when I start already could see that there's some craziness because Keiichi was attacked by these random thugs, and then I think it was, I don't know, was it Mion? I think it was Mion that came out. Yeah, I think it was Mion that came out, and I guess she was close. I think. It's tough. One of them too. I think it was Mion. I really do, but it could be Shion. I don't quite remember. But one of them too. I'm gonna go with Mion. I'm gonna say Mion. If not, just disregard that. But it was Mion came out and threatened them. I'm like, okay. And then she had this crazy ass look in her eyes, and her voice got deeper. I'm like, oh shit. And then all these other strange random people start coming up at them. I'm like, that's insane. And this whole group all comes, and the guys end up running away. I'm like, that's creepy. That's very, very creepy. Okay, then this is interesting. I don't know, interesting. So then we continue on with that arc, and then them two get closer, I guess, and then Mihan invites him over to his house, him to her house, with her big ass house, and takes him to the back. Okay, so that's fine. I mean, beforehand, he does get a warning. He does talk to the detective guy again, and he gets a warning saying that her family's got some kind of secrets and something that they're hidden that you want to be careful. He's like, okay, so it's fine because and then Mion takes him all the way to the back, and over this place in the weird, crazy underground area where her family has done rituals for the Lord Alashiro. Like, okay, that's creepy. That's okay. Is this the arc that? I don't remember. I don't think so. No, this wasn't. Okay. I'm thinking of another arc. That, because they go to the shed together. What was this? Crazy. No. Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. What is it? What was it? What should I have done? I remember, like, I don't remember key. I remember so much that happened. I just don't remember exact points. But I know one arc, I think, I don't, was it this one? I don't think it was. Was it the third arc? No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. They did, yeah. Because I don't remember this happening. I remember the next one involved. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Shion and Keiichi goes into the shed right over here during the festival, and then I think the next episode is when she takes him there. Yeah, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but that was kind of creepy when they went to that shed. When Shion took Keiichi to that shed the night of the festival. And then the Takano and the other dude, I'm not gonna remember his name, but they were there, and then he watched guard, and then Keiichi went inside with Takano, and she was telling the story with the curse of the Himiyazawa and Lord Alashiro, and then the sacrifices and all the weapons they had, what they're used for. I'm like, that's pretty dark, pretty dark, interestingly dark. Okay. I see a big aspect of the crazy scariness. I'm learning, okay, because they added on to it from the first arc over here to this one, because now I get a little bit more in depth with everything. So it was interesting. I can't lie. So then Shion took Keiichi next episode after he learned more about that, and she told him that I know what you did, even Shion did, but it's okay, I forgive you. And she's like, I tells him that she loves him, wants to protect him, and locked him up in the cell, and she tells me it's just something I gotta do because like people were outside. And then whatnot, she's taking, and he was trying to like, what are you doing? You're crazy. I want to help you. You know, I want to be with you too, and you're my friend. And I'm like, this is kind of random, really creepy. Cause she was still normal. She didn't go psycho hardly. I mean, I wasn't psycho. At least, nah, I didn't see her to be. So I thought that was kind of like out of place. And then after he finally broke out, and he got hoarse, he couldn't open up the steel door, and he hurt himself. And then they saved him, and he recovered. And the detective dude came over and told him everything that happened afterwards. That Shion was found at the bottom of a well, dead. What? And then Mion had killed Rika and Satoko, and then she died. Okay, and it showed them. I'm just like, that's kind of nuts. And then the arc ended there. So I'm like he thought that it was his sin because he went into the side of that shed he was supposed to. Which very well could have been. That could have been the reason why they went to the bad ending. I don't know, but that was why. That arc was really different. I don't know. Both two arcs were different. That led to tragedy. And we move on to the third arc, and I think this is where it starts to pick up a little bit more. So, the third arc focuses on Sataka. And with their uncle. Because her uncle apparently was abusive, and she had trouble going to school, and she was having PTSD. and really scary, and everyone didn't know what was going on, the whole group and whatnot, and she freaked out on Keiichi one episode, and it was kind of traumatizing her, like, it was pretty crazy. It's kind of sad and kind of scary, kind of, I don't know, it wasn't scary, it was sad and a little creepy, it just, I don't know, just the fact that that's even a thing, why now? So, but our arc has some good feel good, and then Rika, this is where we really see Rika, like, because she notices stuff, and she left, so this is where we really see her push. So this is where I think I'm still going Ocean. Cage is the main character here, but Rika talked to him about fate because he wanted to figure out, like, maybe she was thinking maybe he can solve this issue and fix everything. Maybe she can use him to fix this if they actually, push really hard enough and go the right direction. And basically, she everything. So she really talked to him really one on one. They asked a lot of some key moments here and whatnot, and he really was pushing to help Sataka really, really badly, and had everyone come together in the whole class, and eventually the whole town, and everybody. And eventually, Will fought his way to the child security safety people and whatnot, and like they didn't give up at all. Like everyone was there to help him, and then Rika was like really happy and what, especially because I mean they're them two are the closest. I think Rika and Sataka are really really close. They're the closest out of them two, but them two are like really close friends. It's obviously the same age, so it makes sense. But like the way that Rika would talk to Keiichi really like drilled into him that I can do this, I could really help, and maybe I can change fate. Maybe miracles can happen. I'm like, does he even know but remember everything, and does he really want to fix it, or does Rika just using him to talk and putting these thoughts into him so everything can be fixed, so they finally get out of this loop and she can have success. And so because her vision, I don't know if I brought it up, but she got her vision of seeing her older self like succeed. So like she knows she wants that as well again because that's where she wants that period. So this is before I knew that success already happened. So she was seeing a previous loop success or succeed up to that point. Like from the season 2, I guess, or season 1. I don't know what original seasons. I didn't watch them, but okay. So then they save Sataka, and they have the festival. All right, because the police end up and the detective end up going to her house, and I guess he says she's okay at the next episode, and they have the festival. So they finally did their job, all that. But I looked, all of them coming together, and it was really cool and whatnot. And then Sataka takes Keiichi to her house for whatever reason she wants to thank him. She calls him a nini or something. I don't know if that means like a brother or dad or something. I don't know. So then Keiichi, her house is really kind of creepy right now. But so in this setting, I'm like, this is kind of bizarre. So he walked in this room and bam, your uncle would bash his head in. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then Keiichi fucking goes ballistic and murders him, tackles him down, steals the bat, and bashes his brains in constantly. And he falls over afterwards, and there's just yeah, he's just, I don't know. We don't see him again until it resets. But that was insane. And then we see what happens later on in because the next episode kind of goes back to that arc and then whatnot. So it's like Rika thought everything was okay, and I'm like, I don't think that was supposed to happen. So it ended up not being, that arc was kind of nuts. It really was pretty nuts. Like they saved her. Her uncle was supposed to be gone, but what ended up happening, that didn't happen. In case she had that incident, and then Sasuke was coming back really, like, I don't know, she wasn't the same. Obviously, after seeing that, you're not gonna be normal. I mean, that's fucked. So, she's Rika thought everything's okay, but then always she ends up coming back and goes crazy, and it's Rika's just like, why is I thought we did everything right. You know, I thought me and Keiichi did it, succeeded. I thought it was the right thing to save her. You know, we fought everyone together. It's like, why is this happening? I like he's the last person I would think you would go crazy too, scratching your neck and going get the Himizawa syndrome or whatever it was, a curse, whatever, something. Go bullet crazy and you shoots everyone. Like, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. So that officially ended that arc, and but I still, that arc was, that's when it really turned up for me, because just to see how hard they worked, only to fail again. But there's more into it. Yeah, I had to see more. So we're on to the fourth arc, and this is, but before this one even gets going, this arc is not really. This is really seeing this is where I felt like Rika probably is the main character, because I don't think Keiichi can do anything about any of this. So Rika goes back to that other world, and then the other chick tells her that, you know, you're doing everything you can do. You're coming close. I'm here for you. I'll give you some more power, but I probably can't stay. I've been here too long. You know, her power is draining. She gives her ability to where she fully remembers everything, and she can go back and look at all those fragments, and she can piece everything together and really try to fix it. So, all right, like, like there's still episodes left though. What's gonna happen? So we see Rika's tries everything she can. I mean, this is just, at this point, is I feel I just want peace to happen. I just want her to succeed. She says she had five loops left. She's gonna do after doing hundreds of times, and this is where we really see we start seeing all the other moments, the little glimpses of everything that happened from the original arcs, and even this arc. It brings up the first arc where Reina stabs Kaichi, and we see, I don't know if they bring up the uncle killing again, but they show Shion and them dying and Mion dying and all that in the second arc. Like, this, okay. Something has to happen for her. You know, this is sad. I know now who to root for, or who I want this. I just want something good to happen, because I'm at a breaking point. Not quite, but this arc gets me there. But it doesn't end up where I wanted it to. So we got to the next arc, the last arc, and even then, it's nuts. I'm gonna continue. This is so good. I mean, this is gonna be a long review. Just like, it's already long as it is. But yeah, this is nuts. So the fourth arc is Rika's arc. Really, really her arc to try to fix it. She gave herself 5 loops to try to fix everything. So we had this other dude come back, apparently from the past, that she knew, and I guess she remembered a loop that he murdered her, but he thought maybe this time he could trust each other. Something to do with, like, his wife or something. She helped him, his wife or something, at one moment when she was over there. So I'm like, okay, I guess so. But it doesn't really explain everything. But I think this arc is literally meant just to show Rika's struggles, like how bad and how quickly or how just whatnot. But it comes to find out there's no reason. So it comes out he's scared. He's gone ballistic. He murders her, sets her on fire in his whole building, and Gaethje tries to save her, but he can't because the police hold him back. And like, okay, that's one down. And then what is it? Next arc. Who murders her this time? Who murders her this time? I don't remember. I don't really remember who murders her. I don't remember every death, but I know in here. I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember every death, but I know one part where Casey goes ballistic and the murders everybody, and then she tells him that the only way to find it, because he wanted to figure out how to figure, everyone, and also everyone in this arc is all like infected insanely bad. I know they are. They're in pain, and their neck is just like really bad, itching, bleeding, and they all ties to her because they know that they have like some kind of connection to know to her that she knows how to fix it. But the only way she really can, if she can reset and try to make it to where they don't hit that to the point. So Casey blasts her head in and murders her because that's what she tells him, of course. And then resets it. I know this old dude from the council because they had to fight in the third arc. They had to talk to them about trying to resolve everything with Satsuga. So he surrounds her in this as well. And we finally had the last one before it's supposedly be fixed. It's very graphic, and I have like some stuff fiction for it, but it's very very graphic, and it's hard to. I don't know if anybody can stomach it, but it's pretty. It's an emotional scene and a graphic scene, and it's just it's full of everything. Basically, it's Sataka and Rika, and the Sataka as Rika and Bad uses her as sacrifice, well, but also is a heart to heart conversation to her because Rika realize Sataka basically gets Rika to realize that Sataka basically tells her that she loves her, she wants her to be happy with her friends and whatnot. She realizes that Rika ended up she had a really heart feeling that she just hated this town and she wanted to leave. And that, and everyone doesn't want her to because she's so important. She's where they grew up. And then Rika comes to realize that, like, I guess the whole reason why I can't get out, I'm stuck like this is because I lost my love for this place, and she wanted to be with her friends too, but she also just wanted to get out of this hellhole, which it's, because she's been through it so much, and she's tired of seeing her friends die and she had to die just to reset everything, and it's just like her happiness is like not there. You can tell it throughout this arc in her face that she was depressed, and like she didn't even care about getting killed. She just wanted everything to be happy and everyone to live normally and peacefully. That's all I wanted for them as well, for her group, friends, just everyone to be happy. So that's pretty gruesome. I have some moments and whatnot, and she was basically told about something about her, like, she was scared because Satoko told her that you have committed some terrible sins, and she was unsure about it, but then as they got to talking, she did realize that her sin basically was her feelings of hate for this town where she shouldn't be. She should love it, and maybe that will help fix everything. So then she ends up crying and she eventually dies has Satsuga has her held in pieces. Pieces. Yeah, I can't really show. I'll have a few pictures of that important scene, but it's it's pretty graphic. Her guts are kind of out, her intestines. Yeah, that's all I've got to go with that. And her legs were kind of not there. Yeah, but it was pretty graphic, but also emotional, and you could feel her sadness in her voice. And even though Satsuko was a little loony, she was mostly sane, and as well, it would like hurt her to do this, but she needed to do this because this was basically this was the last straw to help push Rika to understand how to fix this or what she can do to fix this. So her last loop on here, she basically had a heart to heart with Satsuga again and spent time with her friends in a little pond or a beach or a little beach or a little ocean, whatever they were. So they had a good time, And then she had a hard time with Satsuka, and that was cute, and like maybe, and they like love each other, you know, like friends, or like could be more for Satsuka later on the line, and next arc, I don't know, guess kind of, I'll go into that a little bit. So it was pretty nice seeing that. I overall them two being together, you know, hug, and I appreciated that. I'm like, oh, maybe finally everything will be okay. So then, it was like like 4 or 5 days later, they had a birthday party with Sataka. Well, they wanted to celebrate her birthday, and everyone gave her little gifts or something like that. And then Rika pulls out this box, and Sataka goes a little crazy or a little scared. And Rika's like, "How do you know about this?" It's like, "Oh, well, it's like, well, I'm a trap master, you know, but just you've never ever used this box before during this period, during this whole, you know, this loop." So it's like, what? That's interesting. That was like that. I didn't understand. So I'm like, okay, Sataka knows about previous loops too, enough to where she knows what she had originally put in that box. I'm like, that's kind of freaking crazy. So then Rika puts it down, and it's actually just a teddy bear, not a punch like it was in the first episode or something like that. And then Satsuka kind of gets a little red-eyed, crazy, and pulls out a gun. Like, and Rika's like, I can feel it. I don't know if he says it. I don't remember if she said anything, but I can feel it that this sort of bad ending. It did not end how it should have been. I was like, this is crazy. This is sad. This is not good. But we have one more arc. Maybe things will be okay. So then we move on to the next arc, and it kind of tells a little time skip, I guess, a little bit, because kind of. But I think what it really does is it made the connection with talking on the other dude, and then we have that horn chick. I forget her name. I forget her name. I apologize again. But yeah, apparently it showed that soda scene there where everything was fixed with there, and then Takano wanted to kill everybody but didn't, and then everything was fixed there. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Maybe her resolved. She was gonna be the one to freak out, but it ended up being changed and altered, and she wasn't. They left. Okay. So this was a looking like it could be good. Finally, there's a piece, and there was. And it was great. I was glad, but I didn't realize that also tied into how it originally played out in the one of the other seasons. I found it out. Like, okay, so I get maybe season two. That that already happened, because I know they showed a little glimpse of a flashback as well of that. So I'm like, okay, makes sense. But so they got this to alter again. I don't know how she came back, but she did. For whatever reason, they looped it all the way to where that chick could come back and help Rika out. So apparently, hold on, I'm gonna drink. That's a lot of talking. Okay, so it's kind of it was wild. So we had a year go by. I'm like, oh my gosh, finally, that's great. So then Rika finally felt like she could achieve her dream. She wanted to go to this academy and whatnot. So Mion's now gone. She graduated, of course. I guess so. Everyone else, and they tried to do the same club activities, but it just wasn't the same. It obviously makes sense in the club. Different now since Mion's no longer there. Kind of different and whatnot. And then the other guy comes out. Like, I forgot about the guy dude that was with Sataka. He's not important. But he's like a club coach or doctor or something. I forget. But yeah, he's not important to me. There's some gears. That's not the there's characters in there that I feel like weren't that necessary important, but they were there. They served their purpose, I guess, in some reason. So I thought I'd bring him up, but he's not important to me. Neither is the other dude. It might be important, It could be important, but they didn't do a whole lot of impact into the story, I think. At least for this season. Maybe in the other seasons they are. So, maybe in the first 2 seasons they were important. But this one didn't feel like it. But they serve their little minor purpose for whatnot. But that one dude with that Takano was with, I thought he was more important. But he still was kind of like he played a part in the missing, and he's always ended up being into the incident where there's always something bad that happened after the festival. He was always the one gone. So I'm like, he just, if like if something happened, and if he ends up being missing, then something bad should happen. Bad just gonna happen, or has happened, or something. So that's where I put him at. And Takano got better and important later on as we got an episode dedicated to her. So this arc really gave a lot of more depth into it as well. Like the last arc with Rika, this arc really pushed like a lot of buttons together and put some a wombo combo here. But it was nice to see the piece, and it was just 5 years later, because Rika wanted to go to the St. Lucia Academy and then have her friend join her. So Satsuka didn't really want to, but she did it for her friend. So they made a promise that she would be with her and whatnot. They would go together and have a good time. I'm like, okay. But it turns out that Rika let the fame go to her head, and Satsuka got pushed downwards into the rabbit hole of this preppy academy, and Rika went up more and found other people, and it just wasn't right. Something didn't feel right, and then Satsuka was sent to the other dimension as well. She met this new lady. I'm like, this what's gonna happen now? How, what? They had a talk, so like, and Satsuka was given the power that Rika had, but greater. It felt like it was greater, which it definitely was. So then Satsuka decided to. She stuck with it, okay, for a bit, and then it came to her that maybe I can reset stuff. So they had an argument, and Satsuka decided to pull the rope, and he died. I'll put a picture of that because that was a big what the fuck moment for me. I'm like, what the that happened? What the fuck? And then this whole arc just completely changed. Now Satsuka is in control. Rika thought she had her success, but it didn't happen. But it turns out Satsuka, when she has this power, she kept trying, and she gave Rika another chance about that. Two more chances, and then she got really angry with her. There was a really bad argument, and then Satsuka ended up realizing when she went back to the other world that they're dying. I think like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 more times, three or 4 more times like that. Murdered herself and reset. I'm like, that's crazy. She really used that power too. I'm not gonna lie. But every result when it went back to that academy was Satsuka was alone, and because Rika would always go to those preppy people, and if they promised, Rika promised and never stayed true, and you can't blame Satsuka for acting like that, I guess. I don't know. And her obsession got crazy because Satsuka wants Rika to be in the Himinazawa with her forever, because she loved her. But it's more like a possessive love. It's not a good love. So then, but come to find out, Rika's will, because Satsuka didn't realize that Rika's been through loops before, and Satsuka finally saw all the shit that she went through, and she's like, wow, I can't believe it. So this is why her will is so strong for that dream, after she finally manages to escape that hell and go on to the right path. that's where she wants to go. That's where, so it it's kind of crazy. Even Keiichi even says they had another arc later, little bit later. Same thing, same similar result. That we got more info. That is Keiichi in college with Reina and go to the same college, so they got their dream happen. Rika got hers, but Satoko couldn't get hers. So it's just all kind of messed up. Satoko really thinks everything through, really abuses her power, even for the little games. So she makes sure that she wins and everything goes her way. I'm like, it's crazy. What do you do? Fucking cut your neck with a cards or some, I don't know. She just snaps her fingers. Fucking Thanos fixes everything. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. She doesn't give a shit. She just wants to be God. She's literally playing God. That's where this is at. She's becoming God here, and it cause with this power. And the other lady, what are they? I don't even some kind of weird ass name they give her. She goes by, I don't know, some kind of Aurora. I don't know, but whatever her name was. Their next talk, and Saga revisits all those memories, and she has this creepy ass grin on her face, and they go all the way back, even the 1983, because that was the base year that Rika was trying to get away from. Everything is now in control of Satoko. She's got very possessive. It's just crazy. It lives on a cliffhanger, and that's kind of where it leads on. After Sataka knows everything and learns everything, and she basically wants to say I love. She says I love Rika, and I'm gonna do whatever I want with her. I'm gonna make sure my dream happens. She's gonna control her. That's nuts. I mean, there's this Argo's power, really, really fucked up. And it's crazy. Everything went to shit, and I don't know how it's gonna play out. Do I have a theory for it? I don't know. Based on the trailers, it looks shitty. It looked very shitty. But this I know this review is really long, and I'm really just discussing everything and my initial reactions and how would I feel. But I really this mystery is so interesting. I really didn't think I would find something this gem. I mean, I know it's known and whatnot, but this was good. Very graphic, very dark, very deep. Everyone, it seems simple, but it gets pretty crazy because there's so many theories and mysteries too of how stuff happens as well, and that's a whole nother discussion or something. I'm not even getting into that because there's videos out there that people do that. I even watch them too because they're so interesting. Because this anime mystery is bonkers. I mean, Higurashi goes what this is. I guess people are calling it Higurashi new for me because based on what this is. It's crazy. I didn't even mention Takano's backstory. Or not her backstory. Hers arc. What the hell? She has to stay. She gets caught with some kind of information or something about her grandpa. Because he knows. He made this. He knows all about the Himizawa syndrome and the serum for it. He knows how to fix everything or corrupt people. And then she was starting to kill herself. Like, what? Crazy. I felt for her. That was nuts. And then Satsuka uses her as well. Like she rewrites her own arc, and then she remembers stuff. She actually remembers. People start remembering as well. Even Keiichi drops down to his knees at one point and yelling to Mia that he murdered her. I'm like, what the hell? Everyone's getting crazy, and Satsuko's like, okay, people are learning more stuff. She's corrupting the world. We're making it fucked. Like, everyone's like mental states are wacko. I don't even know if Rika senses anything, but I don't know. But damn, it really went crazy. It was crazy. I'll put a picture of that arc we're talking about as well. I should have brought that up, but I'm just not doing it. There's just so much in depth. There's so much detail that Higurashi goes. This is. If I need to watch the first two arcs, let me know. And if you want to see a review, let me know, please. Down in the comments as well. I'll bring back One Piece reactions. I mean, wrong reaction. I can't do reaction videos. Because I'm afraid of copyright strikes for one thing. So I'm probably not going to do that. I'll do reviews. This review is stupidly long because I covered the entire series, and I apologize. But you know, yeah, this anime. There's so much about it, and I just wanted to talk as much as I could about it. You know, it's really good. Higurashi Go was like this probably was one of the best horrors I've seen, other than Chaos Child, which I watched a while back. Those were my two favorite horror mystery anime that I've seen. They're both fantastic. Really good. I need to rewatch Chaos Child as well. I didn't bring that up during this this type of anime review. It's not about that one. But yeah, Higurashi When They Cry New is fantastic. It's not finished though, so I'm not gonna give it a 10. I'm gonna give it a 9. Now maybe 9.5, because it was that good. It's really is. I probably missed something. I don't know, because this show was fucking nuts. Really, really good. So sorry this review is long, but you know there's so much to talk about. I want to go over arc by arc, what I think about it, my reactions, what I remember, stuff like that. I mean, it's good. It's just really, really, really good. And I probably didn't piece arc by arc correctly, but I'm gonna try to throw a picture when I mention the new arc as well. If I can start over that arc, I'll throw stuff up. I'm gonna edit this out. I'm gonna edit this with often scenes and try to whatnot. I have a lot of pictures lined up, so we'll throw them up there. Give what was it? 8. I'm gonna do 8 likes. Give me 8 likes if you and comment down below what anime I should do next. Well, 8 likes for me to push the next One Piece reaction sooner than later. Well, I want to know if people. I want to see y'all's reactions. I want to see y'all more input as well within the comment section or the likes as well. Showing me that you want to see more of these reviews and whatnot. So Jeb is out of. This review's over with. You know, this anime is great. That's all I can say. Thank you. So you were sticking with me. If you can stick to the end. 8 likes for. I'll push out the One Piece reaction sooner. Or comment below if you also want to. Let me know if you want to react to the original Higurashi season, and I'll throw another review of the originals as well, and I can tie them into this one as well. So, but those will probably be separate per season because they're about as long as this season, and see how long this review is. Yeah, but then again, it could be shorter because I already kind of know what I'm looking for. But okay, all right. Thank you. See y'all later. Hope y'all enjoyed this really long review of this really great horror mystery that really gave me. It really I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's just I loved it. I really did. I wish I would have watched the originals as I got a little older, like a couple years ago or whatnot. Because I missed something. I missed a great series, but I'm glad this does tie into the originals, and I do see and I did learn. So I do know I didn't miss completely everything, but I probably still missed a good bit. But yeah, let me know if y'all want to see those. So all right, I'm good. I'm done now. All right, see ya.